Buonasera e benvenuti all'episodio 574 di Connected su Relay. Questo episodio è sponsorizzato da Squarespace. Io sono il vostro Ricky Benchman Federico Vitici ed è il mio piacere presentare su questo episodio Mr. Stephen Hackett. Ciao Steven.
Hey. Wow,
it was so fast.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
That's how I talk in Italian, yes.
What's the Italian word for connected?
Connesso.
Could you type that in the document? I'm going to make that the chapter name.
Connesso.
Oh, there's an extra S in there. I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. It's like espresso. There's an extra, you know. Okay. Well, hello. I am Stephen Hackett. I just sound like this. And welcome to the show, Mike Hurley.
Oh, at you mugs. we're all going
hey, y'all.
Back to our roots today.
We're on the radio. Okay. We're all back together after a couple weeks of rotating members. I missed you last week, but now we're back, and it's time for follow-up.
Yes.
Matthew wrote in about the Beats case plus stand that you can get.
Yep.
Matthew said, got a new iPhone as well as the Beats case with the clever strap and little horizontal stand. I realize it's not too useful, though, as the iPhone can't handle notifications on a locked screen in landscape. Not something I'd considered.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's not useful, though. I would say that you have a very particular use case. Like, if you want to watch video, which I think is more what this is for, it's perfect, right? Because now you can just stand your phone up and do stuff. I do feel like, to get to Matthew's point, I feel like Standby could or should have some kind of notification integration. Live activities, it does. It shows you your live activities.
Hang on.
But I don't think it shows you your notifications.
Send me a text.
Okay.
My phone is in standby mode. I don't use standby very much. So
are you in a focus mode? I don't think so.
Nope. Yeah, I got a text from you.
What, it shows on your screen?
Yeah. So the problem is the Beats case doesn't put the phone in standby. Right? I don't think.
Oh, that's the issue here.
I think that's the issue because standby.
Unless you're charging. You have to be charging, right?
You have to connect it to a MagSafe charger and then you get it. I mean, it would be cool if the case could trigger this, or you could just enter it. Like you could just tell your phone, hey, go in standby mode. Because I think there are other times standby mode could be useful. Like, you know, if you're doing something in the kitchen and the phone's just down on the counter, like you want to see your timer really big, right? Standby is really interesting, but it's really limited because you have to have a charger. The phone has to be horizontal, but maybe there's opportunity there.
Yeah, I genuinely think the main use of this kickstand is for watching video on your iPhone.
Yeah.
Like that you put your iPhone on a flat surface and you're not having to hold it.
Horizontal video.
I know this.
Like God intended.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of my main uses of my pop socket is that I can just stand my phone up and watch video on my phone. So reframe it. I saw that case when we were in Memphis. That is a very well-made case. Such a genius little idea.
It's way better than the Beats case last year. Do you remember how cheap that thing felt? And it was super glossy.
Yes.
I still don't love it, but they did.
It's still glossy.
Yeah, it is. But I think they did a good job with it. If that's what you're looking for, I think it's a good option.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, talking about fitness apps, do you want to catch people up on what you were trying to achieve and some alternatives?
Well, yeah, so I'm using Athletic, and I've had another week with this app, and I'm in love with this app. I think it's so cool. But Anastasia wrote in and said, I wanted to add 2 sibling apps that do a similar thing, minus the AI element. Gentler Streak and The Outsiders. Both are made by the same team, but geared towards different types of athletes. Gentler Streak being more casual activity, and The Outsiders being more intense. Both use your vitals, daily activity, and even menstrual cycle to give an ideal effort suggestion without burning out. I will say, Athletics AI part, it's not what's powering the whole app. It's just you can go into certain modes and say you want to get an idea of your. So, like I did it today, right? You can go into a workout and you can use the on-device models to kind of give you a text summary of the workout, which I actually find to be quite useful because it's like just gives me a thing I can read about a bunch of the data. But aside from that, it's just pulling in the data and the information and displaying it all together in a way that makes a lot of sense to me. Gentler Streak, I know is a very like successful app and is very popular. It's just not really one that I've ever spent too much time with because like the streak part never really appealed to me. It's probably much more than that at this point. So maybe I'll give it another go. The Outsiders is definitely what I'm trying to get away from though, which is like an app for athletes. Like that's not like that was the issue I was athletes. There's the issue I was having with Whoop, which is like it was too focused on a type of fitness that I am not doing, you know?
Yeah.
I'll give Gentler Streak another go. See what that's like. But I'm really enjoying Athletic. I think that app is wonderful.
I have it downloaded, but I have not played with it much. I need to do that next week.
You really should, because it's just like it's an app that you don't really have to do much to use it. You know, like you're not having to like enter data or anything like that. It's just pulling the information from your health app. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. Moving on, we need to say goodbye to an old friend. I'm going to read from an Apple support document. The Clips app is no longer being updated and will no longer be available for download for new users as of October 10th, 2025. You can continue to use Clips on iOS 26 and iPadOS 26 or earlier. Save your Clips videos to your photo library or another location. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, suffering Clips. Terrible. I saw someone. I wished I had written this down. It was like it was a poster that I had seen on a social network. Is the problem these days.
That narrows it down.
But because I can't. That's the issue. That's
They're
what
all
I'm
the
saying
same.
is the problem. I don't know where I saw it. And at the time that I saw it, I didn't know that I wanted to bring it up. So here we are. Like Apple as the camera company. Why can't they make a consumer level video editing app? Like this should be an app that they maintain and is successful. Like TikTok can do it, Instagram can do it. Apple should be able to do this. Like this today, like in the today's market, this is a type of app that they should have, maintain, and do stuff with. So that's my thought on this. Like maybe they were too early with Clips, right? Because like people weren't really making shorts so much at that point. I guess people were using it for like Instagram stories, I guess, whatever it came along. But this is a thing that they should be making, and they're not making it, and I find that to be odd.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's of all the apps that they like, of all these like side projects that they made over the years. Remember, what was it called? Music Memos was one of them.
Music Memos.
Invites,
invite cards.
Cards ruled though. Cards was like amazing.
Like this one they should have done something more, probably. Yep. I don't know.
I wonder if it was a little disconnected. So like TikTok and Instagrams is what called edits. Is that what they call theirs?
Correct. Yeah.
Like they have a pipeline to the social network, right? And Clips, I think you could export the file, but it wasn't first party in the sense that it wasn't built by TikTok or Instagram or whoever. And I wonder if that just made it sort of like, well, I'm going to post a TikTok, CapCut's pretty good. I'm just going to use the thing that works with the thing. And I wonder if because Clips wasn't associated with the network, that it was kind of like out of sight, out of mind for some people. I don't know. That's just like off the cuff sort of guess.
I mean, in the kind of like the inverse of it, the reason that I think Kate found it that it was Joe Steele that said this post, because there's a link here in the Discord, and that would make a lot of sense that Joe would be the person to say that. Yeah, I would like someone at Apple to explain how the company that has the best smartphone video recording experience can't make any good video editing app for smartphones. That's the point that I wanted to make. Joe makes it better than me. Super good. But I think, like, yeah, it obviously is in Instagram's best interest to have a video editing app, so they will make one and maintain it. And Edits, by the way, is really good. I use it. But I just think that I know that there's a lot of like conversation about Apple and how they spread, if they're spread thin or not, like when looking at stuff like the Vision Pro and da 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 da. But I just think that this is a type of thing that you put a couple of people on, and this is the app that they make, and then you end up providing something out of the box for people to edit their video together with that is disconnected from these other services, which you can make as a privacy benefit. So I don't know. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but also I just feel like this is in a world where like iMovie is a thing that exists and I think still exists.
It does, yeah.
This should exist on the phone. There should be something on the phone that like,
iMovie's on the phone.
Yeah, but it's not for this type of editing.
No,
right?
iMovie feels very much like a thing of the past, right?
You
like,
are making a home video.
Right,
You are not making a reel.
Yeah, which was the pitch back in like 1999 or whatever it was. Hey, like, hook up your camera to your iMac and make a home video. We don't know anything what to do about it past that because DVD burning and things hadn't come along. But iMovie still feels like it's in that realm. And it's really good for that, I think, still. But yeah, you're right. It's not the social vertical video that is slowly or quickly eating the world.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Clips.
I have a story for you both.
Okay.
Whenever I write, Mike has a thing in the document, you both get scared that I'm going to play the quiz sound, but this is not a quiz. This is just a story. No, that was Steven.
Welcome to the quizzes. No,
that was Federico. There is no quiz. So yesterday, spent most of my day at home with the family, and Adina went to the gym, and I went out with the baby to run some errands. And so we went out with a buggy, and we're in the neighborhood. And we're like, walking around, doing some shopping.
Oh my God, you lost the baby?
Yes, my baby. If anyone has seen a beautiful baby, it's mine. Let me know and I'll come find it.
Wow.
And it's Adina's birthday early next week. And so just like taking the baby out, we're buying gifts or whatever for mama. And so we're out for a little bit. I go to the shops, and then I realize, like, Adina's gym session is over now. We can just go walk and meet her. Like, that would be fun. Like, she doesn't know we're going to do that. So we'll go over there. So start walking over. But I'm like, there's a couple of different ways that Adina could walk from the gym to our house. So let me just double check where she is on Find My. And so I stop the buggy, like I stop still. I'm holding onto the buggy. I get my phone out of my hand. The buggy moves a little bit, and I grab the buggy, meaning my iPhone has now fallen out of my hand.
Oh.
And so
which one was it?
This is my Pro.
Okay.
So my iPhone falls to the ground, bounces, and I'm like, it's fine. It's gonna be fine. I pick it up. And I'll send you to an image now. There is a huge chunk taken out of the top left corner of the phone, so you can see the kind of the silver of the aluminium, and it's sharp. And that's what that is. I'm like, that's really annoying, but I can live with that. Like I've had these kinds of things before. Have you seen the image? You see how it looks?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to live with it.
And it's not ideal, especially with an orange phone, but it's like I can live with that. So I'm just like, I'll deal with this later. I have Apple Care. This is a thing that I can fix. I did get Apple Care for this phone like I did for my last phone, even though I'm super against them for what they did to me with my scratch screen that they wouldn't replace because it wasn't broken enough, and then tried to say, don't go. Anyway, it's like a whole thing.
Apple Care is your case. Look how that worked,
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. so I go to meet Adina and I'm like, oh, I dropped my phone. Like, look at what I done. And she's like, oh my God, that's terrible. I'm like, oh, it's okay. I'll live with it. What I hadn't noticed is my screen was destroyed.
Oh no.
I'm sending you another image of what I missed somehow. This phone is
Oh my
wrecked.
God.
It's so bad. It's 2 massive impact points with many, many cracks all over it. So this is my iPhone. The cracks go all the way up to the middle of the phone. As Kay asked, how did you miss that? My answer is, I do not know. I think like a lot of people who have cracked phones, you'd be surprised at what you can ignore when the screen is on. I actually ended up, so I could take a good picture for you here. I downloaded from the internet just a pure black image, which I then put as the going on. Because if you see my background on my phone, you don't see all the cracks. I'm looking at it now, the light's bouncing off it. And I'm like, oh man, this is annoying. But I'm like, I have Apple Care. I know that this one is a break. Like there's no denying the breaking of this phone. And also what I had noticed since I took these images is there are a bunch of spots on the frame that are like dented, and I'm surprised. Like I dropped it from, I would say, like above waist height onto concrete. I mean, it was onto like a cobble area, so maybe but like the amount of damage that was caused was way more than I thought, considering how many times I have dropped iPhones in like the last couple of years and have never broken one. This one is like, it looks like it's fallen out of a window or something. It's like there's so much damage on this phone. So look, I'm not saying that Ceramic Shield 2 is not durable, but like, you know, I'm just, all I have is the evidence here, which is an absolutely obliterated iPhone. I was like, I got to deal with this now. Like, I don't want to deal with this, but I know it's deal withable because I have Apple Care, right? Like, that's the whole point of this thing. And so I opened the Apple Support app and kind of like started the whole process. And they're like, oh, you know, you can bring it to us, or you can do the express replacement thing. And I was like, I like the idea of the express replacement because I don't have the time to go to an Apple store for at least a week, because like I've got to make sure it's like a day where I've got nothing on, because who knows how long these things take. Like I have no idea how long these things take. My expectation is they take way longer than you think they're going to take. And so I was like, I'll do the express replacement. It'll be nice and easy and fine. They send me a phone, I do the transfer, and I send my phone back to them, and it costs like £79 is the excess on the Apple Care. So I wanted to, I went to the app and I thought you just press a few buttons and they'll send you it. But no, they're like, you have to contact our support team and you can do it by text message. I'm like, okay. So I'm sending text messages to this person. I'm getting those like really annoying replies where it's like, we've all been there. Well, you know, you're talking to person like, oh, you know, like that, like way overly familiar. Like just say, I'm sorry that happened. Don't be like, you know, I'm like, oh, you know, I want to do it's like, oh, I understand why you want to do express transfer because it would be so bad to not have your phone for a few days. I'm like, please just leave me alone. You know, just please help me. I don't need this. But, you know, they're being perfectly nice. It's fine, you know, and we're going through the process and they're like, okay, give me your serial number, do all that stuff. And they're like, huh. It's not letting me complete this. Let me just give me a minute. I'm having a server issue. I'm like, okay, sure.
Mm-hmm.
A server is a big server problem.
The data center.
I know. It's on fire. I need to go spin up a couple of AI cores to help me out with this one. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Someone from our senior team is going to have to get in contact with you. And they're like, just tell us the time you want them to call you today, and they'll have them to call. And it's like, all right. And the way that they did this, right, to tell me, give me so I could indicate to them, like, what time did I want them to call me? They sent me a text that said 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m. It just goes on for a full 24-hour period every single time in a text message. I'm like, what is this? What is this? And they're just like, what of these times would you like a call back? It's like, okay. And I was like, today at 1 p.m. And they're like, fine. And I was like, okay. And then 1 p.m. goes past, 1:30 p.m. goes past. Like, what is going on? And I open the support app and it's like 1 p.m. tomorrow. It's like, okay, like, fine. This is not what you said was going to happen. And I was like, well, why don't I just try calling? Right. So I was like, okay, so I give them a call. They go through the whole thing. It's always funny to me that Apple gives you a choice of them. I don't know if you've ever called Apple support, but they give you a choice of music style that you can listen to, which are being played from Apple Music. But the thing is, it's still a telephone, so the music sounds atrocious. But it's like, oh, I guess at least I could choose what bad sounding music I can get. So I chose jazz because that felt like the right call for being on hold. And I'm having the call with the person, and basically it dawns on me as they start to spell out the problem. You have an American iPhone.
Oh, no.
You are in the UK.
Oh, no.
You would need a replacement iPhone. We cannot replace your iPhone. Right?
Oh, Mike.
My iPhone can't be replaced because my iPhone is an eSIM millimeter wave phone. Now, the guy is saying to me, he's like, he said, I am confident this can be done. I just can't do it. Like, it needs to go to a senior person who should be able to do this. He's like, what you can do, though, is just send us your phone and we'll fix the screen and send it back to you. It's like, that is not at all what I want. Like, how long does that take? Like, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, fine. I will wait for the call. And so they called me today. I was at a long call with the support person. Cut to the chase. There's some details about the call that I'm going to show. They're going to do it. They're just going to send me a UK phone. It's like, I was confident this was a thing that could happen because Apple Care has, like, I looked through the terms and conditions of Apple Care. They do offer worldwide repair. So, like, you can have your phone fixed wherever you are. But the problem is the asterisk is, in doing that, your phone may be different and may not work for you, right? So, like, if you were in France, so, you're an American in France, and what did you say?
See?
In France?
Mm-hmm. That's
okay.
how you say it.
This is fine. It's totally fine.
Okay.
Stephen is a Spanish person in France. It happens.
They're right next door.
Right next door. That's exactly how that works. Your phone, if they did like a swap for you, when you go home, you might not be able to connect to your network, say. But in the UK and the US, these things, they actually are the exact same bands, which is why I can do it. But the US phone is now different. It has been for a few years. It has millimeter wave. It has eSIM only. Like, the guy said to me, is like, I can replace this for you with a UK phone, but it will be different. You will not have millimeter wave, which doesn't matter because you can't get that here anyway.
It doesn't matter here. Like,
yes. And he's like, you will have a SIM slot. And, like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to lose some battery life, which also, it's like, it's nothing, but it is like, And my main thing now is I'm going to get a UK phone, which has all the ugly, like, compliance markings on it.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about that. I think they've done a pretty good job of hiding those over the years, but I just don't want to see them. It's one of the reasons I actually liked it.
Is it on the back or on, like, a side rail now?
I think it's on the rails now. Like, they ended up putting it on the rails. But to be honest, I also don't like the big millimeter wave envelope, like letterbox at the top of my phone. So I'm just trading one kind of blemish in for another one.
The millimeter wave window at the top of the US phones makes the phone look like a remote control. Like, it's like an IR window. It's very strange.
Yeah, it's weird, very weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to so it's all being resolved. I mean, they do this thing now where they've taken, like, a huge block on my card, right? Because it's the value of the phone plus the excess. But they'll send me the phone sometime next week. I'll do the transfer and then just send them my broken phone back, and, like, it's fine. They don't charge me for the iPhone. But there was just something on the call which was really interesting. So he's like, he needed to check something. I don't know what it was, but to do it, I had to turn off Find My. Like, I'm not sure what it was that was, like, he had something he needed to check, and I had to turn off Find My to do it. So I went to it, I was like, oh, I can't turn off Find My because I have stolen device protection on. And he's like, He's like, you can try turning that off, but it might have a security delay. He was like, he's like, if you're okay with it, let me see can I see your screen? And I'm like, okay. And then I get a little pop up on my phone, and it's like, will you allow Apple support to view your screen? It's like, whoa, this is a telephone call, right?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't a FaceTime call. This is happening over a telephone call. Fascinating stuff. And so he's seeing my screen, and this little arrow appears on my phone. And he's just like moving the arrow around. He's like, click here, click here. But my favorite part is when he tells me somewhere to click, the arrow starts like moving left and right to point. It's like, here. It's like, yeah, right there.
No, it's great. I mean, doing support over the phone can be really frustrating if someone's not familiar with what you're trying to tell them. It's like, hey, let me literally show you what to tap is fantastic.
Super good. I mean, he I think he got the gist very quickly that I knew what I was doing. Mm-hmm. And I think really it was just for him to be able to see. But it ended up being fine because I'm at my studio, and that has been designated as a known location. Right, because you remember with the stolen device protection, you don't have security delays at places that are, quote, known locations, but you cannot define those. Apple defines those.
Yeah.
But I'm here enough that it knows, right? And so I turned off Find My, and he was able to get what he needed from it, and then I just turned it all back on again. So yeah, at some point next week I'll have a new iPhone, but
okay,
man, this phone is just destroyed.
Yeah.
So what are we thinking, chat? He should have grabbed the phone instead of the baby, right? I mean, that's the takeaway. I'm sorry. We're all thinking it, right? I mean, it's not just me.
The baby was in a buggy. The baby had a case on. The phone didn't have a case on, if you think about it, you know? That is like an impact case. That's like one of those, she's in an Otterbox, you know? It's like...
look, all I'm saying is in hindsight.
In hindsight, yes, because... nothing would have happened to her. Like the buggy just moved forward a little bit, but it was hilarious. What I did was I just let go of my phone is what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay.
You're a good dad. You're a good dad. Yeah.
Well, I've learned a valuable lesson, which is good. I'm happy I've learned this lesson. You cannot hold your phone and push a buggy. I've learned this lesson now. You can't do it. So if I need to do it, I have to straight up stop, brake on, like the whole 9 yards, right? Like it can't be. Or, boys, I thought about this.
Lanyard.
Yes.
Yes.
It would have saved me, right?
It would have.
The lanyard case would have saved me.
Now that you are going to be in situations where both of your hands are going to be busy doing something else, like pushing a baby, you're going to need the what's it called? What's the official name?
Crossbody strap.
The crossbody.
I have one for my Air. But the problem is I need a case too, which I don't want. But I guess it's in certain circumstances, right? Like if I'm taking the baby out in the buggy from my iPhone in the case with the crossbody strap on it, and I'm ready to go. It's like I have a crossbody bag, you know. Like, and I when I'm with the baby, I put that on because I've got all kinds of stuff that I need. So yeah, that's my story. My iPhone is ruined.
That's rough.
I'm very happy I got Apple Care because my phone is 1,400 pounds and I do not want to buy another one. No. No, thank you.
A little quick research while you're speaking indicates that you were going to lose 6.6% of your battery capacity.
No! That's fine. Thank you for that research. How did you do that?
I found a MacRumors article that compared the numbers, and then I did a little math to get the percentage difference between the two.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really not that bad. And I mean, in my experience so far is that the 17 Pro battery life is unbelievably good.
Yeah,
and so you're going to be fine, I think.
Yeah, it's super good. I mean, really, it's just like, I don't have a SIM card, so I don't want a SIM tray.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the thing that annoys me. It's like, I'm now going to have I'm actually going to have, I'm going to have two blemishes I don't want on my phone. I'm going to have the SIM tray and the I don't know what they're called, the safety certifications, which I don't even understand why they exist.
Yeah. See, in America, the government's out of our phones, you know?
Well, no, see, this is the thing. I know it's a fun joke, but yours are in the settings app where they should be. They don't need to be stamped on the side of the phone.
Yeah, when has anybody ever looked at the side of an iPhone and be like, oh, this has, I don't even know what they say.
Can't use this.
Yeah.
Oh, God, can't use this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's silly. It's silly. Well, I'm sorry, man. That's a bummer.
Hey, as with all of these things, I got a story.
That's right.
It's like when I blew up that piece of that glass bottle in a hotel room.
Yeah. Yeah.
You always want the stories,
That's right. Okay. Federico, you wrote a story over on Mac Stories about using LLMs for data portability.
Yes.
Have you just made a way to switch between to-do apps faster?
Yes. So I was listening to Cortex, the episode with Casey Newton, a couple of weeks ago, and something that Mike said at some point sort of pushed me to finally publish this story that's been on my mind for a while. Mike mentioned how he wished that it was possible to move between task managers like you can with email clients. And that's because email clients, they're all just talking to an email server, so it doesn't really matter which client you're using. The emails and the data is always the same. But the same is not true for task managers because, one, there's no centralized location for task managers, and also these are all apps using different systems. And not like some of them support some import and export functionalities, but really it's all fragmented. And so whenever you want to move between task managers, it's a whole thing. But something that I've noticed over the past year, especially with LLMs that have these integrations, these MCP connectors, whatever you want to call them, is that you can now make this process, not just for task managers, but for all kinds of apps, easier, especially with modern LLMs that are basically just running code and don't hallucinate or change your data because they're just running a snippet of code really behind the scenes. It's so much easier to move data between apps because it's almost like you're essentially writing a script to do it, but you're not actually doing it. The AI is doing it. And so that's what I've been doing lately, switching back and forth between reminders and Todoist. Super easy. Like just use Claude, connect Claude to both of them on iOS, and just say move all, like I've done it both ways a couple of times over the past month. Just say recreate my entire reminders setup in Todoist, like all the projects, all the tasks, all the due dates, all the notes, and it works. And I've also done the other way around, like take all the data from Todoist and set me up in reminders, and Claude can do it. And this works for all kinds of things, like let me turn this list of songs into a playlist in Spotify. If you have Spotify connected, you can do it. And it goes even like deeper than that, in that all these LLMs, they have basic OCR features. So if you want to take the data out of an image, like a screenshot, and put it somewhere else, like in Notion or in Apple Notes, you can also do that with the right extension. So this idea of these systems are silos by default, but if they support LLM integration, you can sort of use the LLM as a bridge between them to move your data from one app to another. And that, I think,
feels like a good way to like not have to deal with the truly like not anti-competitive is not the word, but like user hostile export features that a lot of these apps have, where it's like, here's just a text file.
Yeah. Yeah. When you take data out of Notion, it's like, yes, here's all your pages as CSV and Markdown. Like,
that's what you wanted, right?
I appreciate that that's possible, but really, is that good? Not really. So I think it's interesting in that it almost feels like a byproduct of these systems where they obviously were not designed for data portability in mind. And even when they roll out these app integrations, that's not the angle. That's not how these integrations are pitched, but that's how they work, and that's how you can use them. And I think ultimately it's really convenient for users once you realize this, that as long as a service is connected to Gemini or Claude or whatever, you can use that as a little trick to move data between services that typically do not support each other. And I think it's pretty neat.
It is super cool. As someone who has done the task manager dance, I know this is just like one example of what this technology can do. It's like, I'm going to take 3 hours out of my day and move between reminders and Todoist and then back 8 months later, you know? Very cool.
Yeah, I think it is a good example of how this like heavy text-based processing can be useful, right? Where like that's what these systems are best at. Well, it's what these systems can be good at, is dealing with large amounts of text.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be that guy and I'm just going to ask you, do you not worry about it changing things?
No, I always verify,
Yeah.
and I can tell you, like, it's been essentially spot on, like, for me. First, you can always inspect. Like, I highly recommend using a reasoning model when you're doing this kind of transfer.
Why?
Because the model is gonna think, quote unquote think. The model is going to, especially Claude, is going to sequentially run through all the steps needed instead of like cutting corners and saying that it did something when it really didn't, which is a common trait of non-reasoning models, right? Especially when they're running, like against context window limits. That is a common trait of all LLMs. They're going to cut corners and they're going to say, I cannot do this, or I did this, when it's not true. And it's much less likely with the reasoning model, especially when you tell it, you need to think sequentially here and move step by step, like one project at a time or one task at a time. You can inspect that chain of thought and see the steps actually happening. And it also helps that you can also verify the actual connections that are made to reminders or to Spotify to see, basically it's all JSON formatted data, and you can see all that data. And then I verify myself. Like, I just double check, because it's always a good practice to double check, okay, I had 10 tasks in this project and I now see 10 reminders in this list.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I feel like it's not something I would necessarily want to do with hundreds of tasks, maybe for that reason, because it's like I'm going to have to go through and like cast an eye on it. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I guess as well, like, you're looking in a reasoning model, I would suppose it's like its job is not to try and make things up. In theory, its job is not to attempt to create for you. It should be being like more thoughtful than that, for as much as we can use these words.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by our friends over at Squarespace. If you're just starting out with a project, or maybe you have a business that you're just looking to scale up, Squarespace is the place to go to build an awesome website. And they have all the tools you need. You can get a domain name, you can have a really cool showcase of your offerings and your products, and you can even get paid with invoices all in one place. I've been using Squarespace basically forever, and I keep going back to it for new projects and pointing people in that direction, because it is a fantastic place to build a website, even if you are nerdy, right? Like, a bunch of us, like, we can write CSS, we can write JavaScript, but one, I don't want to have to do that for every project. But two, Squarespace also gives me the flexibility to do those things when I need them, which is really cool. But for everyone else, it's a great place to build a good-looking website. And most people aren't designers, and so they have Blueprint AI, which lets you quickly and easily build a site bespoke to your business. Just input some basic information about your industry and goals. It works with all those awesome templates, and you're good to go. And from consultants to event planners, or if you host experiences, you can showcase your offerings with a customizable website designed to attract clients and grow your business. Think built-in appointment scheduling, email marketing tools, and more. Plus, you can keep everything cohesive with on-brand invoices and get paid easily with online payments. So I want you to go to squarespace.com/connected. There you're going to find a free trial. And when you're ready to launch your site, you'll use the code CONNECTED to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain name. That's squarespace.com/connected and the code CONNECTED for 10% off your first purchase. Our thanks to Squarespace for their support of this show and all of Relay. Big news.
Can I just get some real-time follow-up?
Oh, yes.
So I have some real time follow up from Jambo Hav in the Discord. It says, I've been looking at my iPhone 17 the whole time. I'm either blind or I cannot find the certification markings on the phone. So maybe they're not there anymore, or maybe I'll just have to do it with a SIM tray.
Yeah, I also don't have them on my.
If you don't have them, then I'm not going to have them. They must have done something. Because you remember they used to put them on there, like the little.
Yeah, I think it's been a
CE.
few years though.
Yeah, okay. See, this is because I have been buying my iPhone in America for like 5 years, so like I'm way out of the loop on that one. That's great. I just have to do it with a SIM tray.
Oh,
so,
I see them.
oh, he sees them. There you go.
On the edge, on the side. I have
So they are there.
in the same. So I have a black iPhone Air.
Yeah.
They used a super thin dark gray font. So you
They
basically
are there. I knew.
they are there, and they're actually hidden by the fingerprints because the air is shiny on the sides. But yes, they're there, just very faint.
We got some big news. Everybody ready for the M5?
You all ready for this?
The M5.
Can I just say, I really don't like across social media and Apple's website how they're using I don't like it. I don't like it. Like, what
They're
are you
so-
attempting to get? You know?
There's so many ways to. It's like what's the verb? Make like. So phonetically is the adverb. Like what's the verb? Like,
well, the noun is
to-
like an automatopoeia, like a word that.
no, but like when you want to make something into a sound.
Oh.
To phonetize, that's not a word.
What's assonance?
Whoa.
No, what
Whoa,
I
that's
guess what
something else.
no, that's not. No, what I'm trying to say is that there are many ways to say those 5 letters. It's like or
Yes.
you know.
But also, it's just like the typical one. Thank you. The typical one is just what is going on.
Yeah.
The typical one is I'm hungry, right?
Yeah.
It's like Papa hungry from MacBook. Like, I don't want it, right? Because that is what when I see Greg
he's so
Joswiak,
hungry.
when I see Greg Joswiak tweeting, I'm like, no, Jos, stop it. I don't want it. Stop it. That's how I feel.
Hold on. Different Apple executives, different let's go. How do they make it?
Okay, who are we going
for? So Jaws first. Okay, Mike. What's the Turnus? Okay. What's the Tim Cook?
No more. We're done. We're finished. We did it.
Okay. Let's start with the system on a chip. It is built on the 3rd generation 3 nanometer technology from our friends at TSMC. It has a 10-core...
Friends of the show.
Friends of the show.
Friends of the show.
10-core CPU. It's 6 efficiency cores and 4 performance cores. And Apple says it's 15% faster in multi-threaded performance over the M4, which is something. Not everyone has a lot of multi-threaded tasks. I think like
give me an example. Like, where would I see this?
in Forecast when you transcode a WAV file to an MP3, that's multi-threaded.
Okay, so I mean, and that
it's
is
Pro
something
Tools, right? It's not.
It happens so much faster on my Mac Mini than my MacBook Air.
Yes, yeah. And but most people, there's a lot of single-threaded stuff still out there. But 15% faster multi-threaded performance. The GPU, I think, is the more interesting story this time around. Apple wants you to know that the M5 delivers over 4 times the peak GPU compute performance for AI compared to the M4. So what they've done is each of those 10 GPU cores, and remember, like the M5 Pro and Max and maybe Ultra that will come later, will have more GPU cores. Each of those GPU cores has inside it, like a kangaroo, in its little pocket, it has a neural accelerator in there. And it's...
Isn't it a pouch?
What did I say?
A pocket.
Yeah, pouch.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Sorry.
Australia.
Right, can I just hold on a second? I'm sorry. I try not to do this, but I was reading the Discord, and so I zoned out for a second. Why are we talking about pouches? What is going on?
Each GPU core is a kangaroo, and in its little pouch is a neural accelerator.
Okay. I'm really happy to have gotten that image.
Look,
thank you. And
the
I love the
M5
fact that you think that kangaroos have pockets.
If Johnny Ive was still alive and he were introducing the M5, he would say, "Our GPU, we looked at nature and were inspired by the
And he would
pouch.
say,
But this magnificent animal.
God, I love San Francisco." Okay. So they are making a bit of a shift here, and it still has a neural engine at 16 core this time, but they are now also equipping their GPU cores for AI tasks. And it is unclear at this point the relationship between the neural engine and these accelerators. Like, are they just one thing to software? Will developers need to write specifically against the neural accelerator, and then that's only on the M5s and higher? Like, we just don't know yet, but it is an interesting change.
Can I try to offer a potential explanation?
Please.
I think, and I am gonna get the details wrong, I'm sure, but like at a very basic level, I think when it comes to LLMs that you want to run on these computers, and especially those that are optimized for MLX, which is the Apple framework to run large language models on Apple Silicon. When you load an LLM, and then when you make a request to it, and then when the LLM is processing your request, it's relying on different parts of the architecture. So the model obviously gets loaded in RAM, and that's one part of the architecture. I think the neural accelerator is meant to improve the pre-fill time. The pre-fill time is basically when you write a prompt to a large language model, and especially when you write a long prompt, right? That prompt needs to be injected into the model before it gives you a response. That is the pre-fill time. So that all that text from your prompt needs to be loaded dynamically and cached by the large language model. And then the model is gonna use its weight to formulate a response. Again, I'm very much simplifying here. My understanding is that the accelerators, we are going to see most of the improvements in the pre-fill time. So you're gonna have a shorter time to first token. That is a metric that is typically used to evaluate these things. Essentially, you are going to see the response from the LLM appear on screen faster thanks to the M5. You're going to have a shorter time to first token because of this faster pre-fill time. The actual generation is what's helped by the GPU and the neural engine. I think this is what, like, they're basically trying to optimize for different parts and like layers of the large language model loading, taking in your request, generating the response sort of process.
Okay. I think makes sense.
So for any of the claims of AI improvements and like to really take advantage of what Apple is doing,
Yeah.
a developer would have to use MLX?
I don't think so. I think
because my hope would be that like
no. Let me rephrase. I think you're gonna see most of the improvements if you use MLX, which is a whole like kind of weird story in that MLX has a thriving community, I will say, on the Mac. There are plenty of tools, and Apple, like MLX is like Apple open source at its best. Yeah. There's this incredible person. Unfortunately, they're only posting on X, but there's this incredible person that I believe is an Apple employee, and I'm gonna look them up. Prince Kanuma. I believe they are a researcher at the MLX team at Apple, and they put out so many open source things for MLX. Unfortunately, all of these things are Mac only, or they tend to be Mac only. Apple is also sort of touting the benefits on the iPad, which is like very strange conversation there. But yeah, I think you're gonna see most of the improvements for MLX optimized models. That said, I think the higher bandwidth for the RAM and the improvements in the GPU are going to benefit models that you load in other formats as well.
I think this is like it is obviously par for the course with anything to do with AI that there is a bit of trying to think of maybe misdirection is the term I'm trying to find here, where who's doing anything realistically locally with AI? Like when they're talking about these AI improvements, like most of what they're talking about here is local performance, right?
Okay, you're gonna upset a lot of people by saying that.
Oh, but come on.
Not in our audience.
Okay.
Let me look. If you are an enthusiast, right, you're doing it, right? Like you, Federico. You are very enthusiastic, right?
Yes.
The vast majority of people of
people
800 million people using ChatGPT.
Nobody.
Yeah,
yes.
That's what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
The nobody is one of these generalizations that we make, where it's like, okay, but like the vast majority of people doing anything in an AI, they're going to see this and be like, oh, it will be faster. No, it's got nothing to do with that, right? Like,
no, it's not.
Everything
it's not
you're doing, nothing is happening on your device.
If anything, maybe Wi-Fi 7 is going to make ChatGPT faster.
Yeah, that ends up being the thing. But you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
This is interesting, but I don't think that there are enough user benefits to this. And like, this is actually Apple's thing to fix, right? They need to make their local models better.
Yeah.
That they can be used by more developers for more things. Then it becomes an easier thing to tout the speed improvements in the M5.
Oh, especially
where like 99.9% of people that buy this computer, right? I would say that statistic feels right to me. Even the people buying the MacBook Pro, they are not doing local AI stuff. They're not.
Yeah. Especially when the whole ecosystem of open source models is so fragmented and confusing if you don't know what you're doing. Like you can get 100 different versions of the same model. Whereas I think it would be so Apple to say, here's a family of foundation models and you can choose multiple sizes, you can choose multiple versions. But right now they only have one on device that is kind of crappy, to be honest, and they have the cloud one, which is sort of like only usable from shortcuts, not even from developers. So when I see these demos that Apple gives of like, here we're gonna show a student using Misty Studio on her MacBook Pro to organize her notes from college class using on-device AI with GPT OSS 20 billion. Like, no, that is not a realistic scenario unless that student is enrolled in an AI course or something. Like, nobody's gonna do that. Nobody's gonna say, you know what, I am not going to use ChatGPT to organize my notes. I am going to install a local on-device AI model, and I need to know which one on my MacBook Pro so that I can process my notes and my PDFs with offline AI instead of ChatGPT. Who's doing that?
Yeah, we've gotten way off course. I think it is very impressive that they are making these gains, because at some point these chickens will come home to roost, right?
Yes.
Like they will. And if anything, like I get the impression, like with the Mac Studios, the people in AI are excited about these computers. So maybe that is also a benefit, right? That like if this is something that you care about, you're able to incentivize people to buy your computer. It's like, this is a good thing. Apple kind of fell into it and now are moving clearly. Like they're like, all right, great. Now we're kind of catching up with ourselves.
That is an audience. That is an audience that they are satisfying for sure.
Yeah. And eventually the local models will be good enough, because also my understanding is like local models tend not to be as good as the web-based models.
They tend to be, it used to be really worse. Now, especially the latest models from China, they're basically 4 to 5 months behind the latest from America.
which again is like another thing for the average user. Why would you go through all that effort to have something that is quote unquote worse than what you can get on the web? You know what I mean? Which is like significantly easier. But at some point, stuff like the Apple Foundation models will be powerful enough to do a lot of tasks on your Mac, and then your Mac is going to be very quick at that. So, but anyway, it's just a funny thing. Like this is the thing they are touting over and over and over again. And I just don't think these use cases actually exist.
Yeah.
For people buying these computers, especially the iPad, which we'll get to shortly.
Except from the AI developers, but that's it.
Yeah.
Or enthusiasts. Yeah.
So let's start with the M5 MacBook Pro. This is the entry-level 14-inch machine. Remember back in the day, there was like the Touch Bar machine was still hanging out. And then I think with the M3 generation, they made a 14-inch MacBook Pro that was just a little bit cut down, but you still got the screen and all the niceties of the MacBook Pro. And they've done that again. There's no Pro or Max version yet of these chips. I saw a lot of people chattering about like, well, is it not ready? Or like, it's very hard. Even 5 years into this, like Apple doesn't have a strict playbook on what chips come out when. There have been times when like the M1 was out, and then months later we got the M1 Pro and Max, and sometimes they've been together. It's all over the place, and so Pro and Max versions will come. So right now, if you go buy a 14-inch MacBook Pro, you can get the base with an M5, or you can get the better 14-inch or the 16-inch with the M4 Pro or Max. I don't think it's a big deal, but it's a situation we're in. 24-hour battery life, SSDs that are up to 2 times faster, and now the base model can be configured with up to 4 terabytes of storage. The M4 is capped in that version of the MacBook Pro at 2 terabytes, so a bit of an update there.
It's very funny to just have the one computer, right?
Yeah, no Mac Mini. I mean, that has the Pro, I guess.
No, I just mean like, you know, it's just the M5. Like, It is funny when you see like, because they have like there's like images where it's like M5, M4 Pro, M4 Max. Like it's weird. Like what? I feel like I don't understand why now.
I mean, the Pro and Max clearly just aren't ready yet, or they're not producing them at scale yet. That's probably what's going on.
Yeah, but like, I guess my question with all of these products is like, but why are you doing them now? Like, how important is it to have the M5 in them?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know?
I also think if someone's like going to look at a 14-inch MacBook Pro and they're even considering the base model, like I don't think they really care if it's got the M5 or the M4 Pro. Like, and as we talked about earlier, for the vast majority of people, the performance difference isn't that great. And in the newsroom article talking about this machine, Apple compares it to not only Intel MacBook Pros, which is like 1 billion times faster than, but also the M1 MacBook Pro. And I think that's particularly interesting that now they are also talking to early Apple Silicon adopters, because the M1 is 5 years ago, next month. And so I think like, yeah, there's weirdness during these little transition periods, but I assume in the spring we'll get an M5 Pro and M5 Max, maybe even early in the year. And then it just is, it gets settled. It's not the first time we've been through this.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. One of the things they're saying is 24-hour battery life. I'm trying to find, I'm on the compare tool, which is way more complicated for the Mac than it is for the iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, but the other one said 24 hours battery life too. Okay, it was in the press release, like that was a new statistic. But both the M4 and the M5 14-inch MacBook Pro had 24-hour battery life, as quoted by Apple.
Yeah. I will say as a side, not if you're running Tahoe. At least in my experience, Tahoe has been really hard on the battery, and the standby on my laptop is garbage. So maybe that'll get better soon. So that's the MacBook Pro. That is the only Mac the M5 is in. Check back later for more. But we also
Did you mention the SSD speed? Is that interesting to you?
I think it is. Apple has had a couple of instances in the past few years where like Cernet SSDs are way slower than others. Look, they're all fast, right? Especially if you're coming from like an Intel machine, they're all fast. I think it's more of a byproduct of like these systems on a chip are faster. The M5 also has increased memory bandwidth. For some use cases, it's really important. For most people, it's not, but it's a nice to have, right? It makes the whole thing feel faster, and that's a good thing. Up next, we have the M5 iPad Pro. Federico, what can you tell us about this?
So we're looking at really the same iPad as last year with the M5 inside. Same deal, neural accelerators. They're saying 3.5 times faster performance for local AI inference. Same RAM on the high-end models. So the 1 terabyte and 2 terabytes still top out at 16 gigs of RAM, but they increased the base model ones from 8 gigs to 12 gigs. So that's nice.
They also now put the RAM amount on the order screen,
which is weird.
Very strange to tout on a product where you have no control over it.
Yeah, there's really no way to know.
12 gigabytes of memory for the 256 and 512, and 16 gigabytes for the 1 terabyte and 2 terabyte. 2 terabyte, I know this is not new, but the 2 terabyte, 16 gigabytes of RAM iPad Pro is $2,299. Oh, it's so expensive.
That is money. Yes. One of the nice new things is that you can drive an external display at 4K 120 hertz refresh rate with adaptive sync. So that's new. These external displays.
Now, which display are we driving with this?
Well, I can drive mine.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. Well, we'll see. We'll see. In theory.
In theory, because it's USB, it's not Thunderbolt. So we'll see. I think it should be backwards compatible, but I will let you know.
Have I told you guys about my display on my desk?
No.
I don't think so.
So I'm using a studio display, and basically since it came out, mine, the backlight flickers now.
Ooh.
It will run fine for an hour or two, and then it'll have like 5 seconds where it doesn't turn off, but it like dims. It's like, and like then it's okay for a little while. But it is happening more frequently, and I don't know what to do about it. So
well, I guess with this stuff being out now would indicate that there's not going to be a new display this year.
I think Apple's done announcing stuff for the year. So the display is out of warranty. So I mean, maybe I'm looking at out of warranty repair if it really gets worse. I'm keeping an eye on it, but it's kind of a pain.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Wi-Fi 7, it's obviously all powered by the new Apple N1 networking chip. So that's Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, and Thread. Wi-Fi 7, nice. It's gonna be nice to see the improvements especially for like heavy tasks like game streaming, for example, both locally and remotely from services like GeForce Now, for example, and just in general the benefits of Wi-Fi 7. So increased range in the home and just slightly better performance than Wi-Fi 6E. Also the C1X modem. So that's also previously seen on the iPhones. This is now on the iPad. Should be more power efficient than before. They're saying 30% less power, even better signal. Again, we'll put that to test when the time comes.
I've been very impressed with the speed of rollout of their networking chips.
Yeah.
This has happened faster than I expected from when they announced the 16E.
Definitely.
Yeah. They also mentioned a couple of things that I wanted to note here. We spoke about the higher memory bandwidth. That is also true on the iPad, of course, with the M5. It's not clear whether, if and how that will benefit iPadOS 26 multitasking. We'll have to see. There's also faster. They're also using PCIe 5 speeds for the internal SSD. So if you're working with heavy files in things like Logic or Final Cut, you should see faster read times when you're working with that. Obviously, that does not apply to external drives. That's only for the internal SSD of the iPad. But that's pretty much it. Really, the story comes down to local AI, GPU improvements, and Wi-Fi 7, because I don't think you're not supposed to see differences. For if anything, it should be better. Wi-Fi should be slightly better. Cellular connection should be slightly better. And if you have an external display, you can now do 4K at 120 hertz. This iPad reminds me a lot of the M2 iPad Pro, another follow-up to a major update to the iPad Pro series that followed up the following year with very little changes except for the new chip. And that's the same story here.
Yeah, was that the one with the LiDAR?
No. The M2 was the one that was 2022, I believe. And it was I remember I had my embargo. It was the iPad Pro and the base model iPad with the kickstand keyboard. That one, I think.
I'm thinking of the 2020 iPad Pro.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the weird one before the M1, which was 2021.
Yeah, I bought that one.
A12Z.
Without thinking.
A12Z.
And so I just had that. And it's just like, well, this isn't worth it. But yeah, it does seem similar to that one, right? Which to be honest, and to be fair, we were not expecting more, right? From this. Like the M4 iPad Pro was a monumental update. Right, like massive update with the display and all the options like the nano texture and
super
everything.
thin.
It's getting super thin, very powerful, new keyboard. Like the expectation was this was what we were going to get. But I do think that there are some highlights there, right? Like the Wi-Fi 7 and Thread and Bluetooth 6. That's actually pretty nice. Like those would be. You would feel the effect of a bunch of those technologies throughout your day, even though you don't know you are, right? And so I think that's pretty cool that they're there.
And I do want to just quickly say the Wi-Fi 7 is not on the other M5 products. Like the new MacBook Pro is still Wi-Fi 6E because they're not using
the N1.
Right, they're using I guess the Broadcom chip or whatever
because that would be wasted, wouldn't it? The N1.
Yeah,
right?
It would be because they have no cellular.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that's the C1X.
No, that's the C1. No.
Yeah, why aren't they doing that?
Because they don't need Thread,
maybe. Or I mean, maybe.
Sure, why not have Thread? Why does the iPad need Thread?
No, yeah, nobody really knows. In fact,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm sure it'll come in the future. So, Mike, tell us about the Vision Pro.
Thank you for the nomination. So the Vision Pro gets the M5, but because it's upgrading from an N2, it's a 50% faster speed improvement. Here's a really weird tidbit. The M5 allows the Vision Pro to render 10% more pixels on the micro OLED displays, resulting in a clearer image. An increased refresh rate up to 120 hertz, and a smoother Mac virtual display experience. Now, here is my guess at what the 10% more pixels thing means, and I would love some detail. I think it's talking about the foveated rendering.
Yeah, okay. I was in some Reddit threads where people were speculating about this. Some people were saying it's the foveated rendering, the rendering more. Some people are saying no, it's actually they are increasing the resolution because they're saying that the text is crisper on screen. So it is unclear. That is the kind of question that somebody should ask PR about it.
Yeah, I think this is foveated rendering. Like
I also
10%
think that
more pixels. Like there's not like a hidden part of the screen, and like no, that's what because it says resulting in a clearer image. Like the clearness is what is around you. That's my guess. If anybody wants to correct me or we end up finding out, that would be awesome. But that's what I would expect. It's that 10%. more. But even then, it's like 50% faster chip, 10% more rendering. Shows how how intense that is. And up to 120 hertz refresh rate is great. I didn't know it didn't do that. I don't know what the refresh rate is of the M2 one, but there you go. An increased battery. It was funny to me to read that this is up to 2.5 hours of regular use. Like, I don't know if I've forgotten what the Vision Pro's battery life is like, but an increase from what? It's like, wow, 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
That is not a lot. That is not a lot. To be honest, a lot of the interesting stuff here is actually what's not this. Like, it's like the accessories are interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The Vision Pro going to an M5 chip, fine. Like it means that the current hardware will live longer, which is, I guess, the intention here. We will, this unit will be out. People that are buying this unit, they're going to get multiple years of use out of this product. This, I would love to be proven wrong, but this does not feel like a product that is worth upgrading to for basically anyone that already owns one.
Mm-hmm.
If you do want one, now there's a bit of a better improvement for you if you want to buy one now. I don't see what the user benefit would be. It's like iPads, right? Where like you shouldn't upgrade your iPad every year. I mean, it can be argued you should never upgrade any product every year, but like I feel like an argument can be made for the iPhone. But with the iPad, like the iPad is always more powerful than the experience that it's powering, right? So you can get many years out of an iPad, and I feel like that's the same for the Vision Pro. Even though it is so cutting edge, there's just not enough stuff going on the platform that makes it worthy of an upgrade, even though it's not year over year, right? Like it's been many years.
Yeah, and the price is part of that too, right? I mean, iPhones are expensive, but they're not Vision Pro expensive.
Well, especially when they're not offering any trade-in for the M2 Vision Pro.
That is brutal. Like, Apple, the Vision Pro customer is in some ways your best customer, right? Like they want the cutting edge. They're willing to spend big bucks on something that is effectively experimental. And you're just saying, we will not give you anything on trade-in on that is really harsh to probably your biggest fans and your most engaged users. I cannot believe it.
Yeah, like I think the quote unquote reasons I've read is that like people like refurbishment companies don't want this stuff, which is fine, like whatever. It did remind. So I'm doing a trade in on my iPhone, and to get credit, we're going to use it to upgrade Adina's iPhone. I've forgotten. I feel like I knew this, but I've forgotten that like you're not giving it to Apple. It like goes to a company, right? Like Apple works with a bunch of partners.
Yeah. Like
when we're doing the mail-in, it's going to a third-party company. Like Apple doesn't actually do the trade-ins.
So here, at least, I traded in Mary's iPhone 15. I got her a 17. I got the 17 in store. You don't take the trade into the store. They mail you the box or whatever. And mine did go to Apple. So it may be just different in different areas. But yeah,
interesting.
Ultimately, I think Apple's not in the refurbishing business. Like even if I mailed it to like quote unquote Apple, someone else is handling.
I don't think it went to them.
Handling it.
But like my point is, say it's here, maybe it's in some places in the States it's different or whatever. But I think that Apple should just take these and give people a discount, and then they just have to deal with the situation of like recycling it or whatever. Because I just think to not do anything, not even like a token amount, like $500 or something, like it's bad. The accessories. They made the Solo Top.
Yeah.
They have a new band called the Dual Knit Band. It is just two of the Solo Knit bands.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of merged together.
Yeah. There is something interesting here. So it just has one of the adjustment knobs, but you can like pull it out a little bit, like on a crown on a watch to like set the date, and then it adjusts the top band. So when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this isn't going to work because I don't want the tightness on top and behind to be the same, but it does allow you to adjust them independently, which is good.
That is some good design right there.
Yeah, because the Solo Top thing, which is what I have somewhere wherever my Vision Pro is, you have two adjustment knobs because it's two of those Solo Knit things just like 3D printed together.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah.
There's something here, somebody put in our notes about people freaking out about the weight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is that? I haven't seen this anywhere.
I saw it some on I think on Mastodon. So Apple on the previous Vision Pro said that the M2 weighed between 600 and 650 grams. Now, why is there a range? Well, it depends on the strap you're using, the size of the light seal, and like the face forming thing, right? Like if people have forgotten because it's been a long time, the Vision Pro is super customizable, right? They have different sizes of all the sort of the attachments, and that the weight can change according to that. Apple says the M5 Vision Pro weight is between 750 and 800 grams. And so on the surface of it, you're like, Apple, the one thing you need to do is make the Vision Pro lighter. You made it heavier. It seems like that's not the case at all. The Vision Pro itself, like the metal glass thing, seems like it's going to weigh the same, but it's the band, because you have that top strap, right, that it's adding some weight there. That's not confirmed, right, because like these things aren't in the wild yet, but it seems like that's what it is. It's not that they added more aluminum and glass to the front of something that was already too heavy. But I suspect whenever reviews come out that we'll get to the bottom of this then.
Yeah, because that's the only strap you get now.
Yeah, they got rid of the other one.
But you can still buy them, but in the box you get the dual knit. You don't get the two, because you used to get two, right? You used to get the solo knit and the dual loop, and now you just get the dual knit.
Yeah,
which is the way to go, I think.
It's a great improvement. Did you see? I think it was Christian on Mastodon had like I can't wait for the Vision Pro hat, and it was like a Photoshop of like a whole beanie, right, made out of that material. It's very good, very good. And then the PSVR 2 controller. I don't play games. What's happening here?
So PlayStation VR is a VR headset. 2 is the second edition. They have controllers for that, which are apparently very good controllers. And Apple added support for these. It's $250 for the pair. I think it includes the charging station. Sony's making their money back on the PSVR 2 by charging a immense amount of money for these controllers for essentially what seems to be maybe 4 games that support them. Like, this is like if the this is Zoe said in Discord, the whole PlayStation VR 2 was $399. There's no way an entire VR headset was like $150 or something. It's like, oh, that's the cheap part. This is it. If the Vision Pro is a chicken and egg problem for development, the games supporting the PSVR 2 controllers on the Vision, like that is a subset of a subset of a subset of a purchase.
It's gonna be what, 2 games maybe?
I think Apple quoted 3 or 4 in the press release.
4, okay.
It was like a ping pong game, I think a pickleball game, and something else. But yeah, I mean, I am happy that this exists. What I will be intrigued to see is like, what can be done outside of games, if anything, with this? Like, I don't know. And there's also this was shown off at, I'm gonna say WWDC, the Logitech Muse. It is a 3D space Apple Pencil, essentially. That's also available now.
I tasked David Sparks to order one and review it for us, so which he did, because he's using the Vision Pro quite a bit. I think maybe more than anyone else in our circle. So excited to hear what that's like. And it's also interesting, right? Apple at the beginning was like, you just need your hands. It's like, no, like these products need game controllers. They need other things. And I'm glad that they've come around to that.
Yep.
So that's the M5 product line. Yeah. Apple's probably done for the year, but if, we'll see how it goes. I know everyone's very excited. Look, I know spec bumps really aren't that spicy to talk about or cover, but I think the big story is like Apple Silicon is still just marching right on 5 years in, and that's encouraging. Anything else?
Mm-mm.
Cool. Well, let's shut this thing down. If you have feedback or follow-up, we have a form on the website, and there's a link in the show notes, or you can go to connectedfeedback.com. Send us a note. It can be anonymous. So if you know cool secret things, leave them there for us. If you like this show and want more of it, we have an ad-free, longer version. We do it each and every week. It's called Connected Pro. It's $7 a month. You can check out the link in the show notes or go to getconnectedpro.co to learn more. If you want more of us, you can find Federico online at macstories.net, where he is the editor-in-chief and podcaster and visionary and LLM expert and all-around handsome man.
Thank you.
Mike hosts a bunch of shows here on Relay. Check out his work also at Cortex Brand and theenthusiast.net, which really should be your homepage at this point. What are you doing? I really look forward to your post on Friday, Mike, of like things you like from the week.
Thank you so much.
It's really good.
Thank you.
You can find my writing at 512pixels.net, and I co-host Mac Power Users here on Relay. I'd like to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this episode, and until next time, say goodbye.
Arrivederci.
Cheerio.
Bye, y'all.